Good evening. Welcome to Kenya News Update today. I'm your host, and we begin with an urgent warning from the government that is resonating across the nation. The State Department for Diaspora Affairs has issued a stark alert, cautioning Kenyans against falling victim to fraudulent overseas job advertisements. These ads, circulating widely on social media, are promising attractive monthly salaries of up to 80,000 shillings. In an update on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, the department specifically flagged a viral poster as completely fake. This comes at a time when economic pressures are mounting for many families, making such offers dangerously appealing. But what is the real story behind these scams? Who is being targeted, and what are the true risks? Tonight, we take a deep dive into this modern-day trap, examining the data, speaking with experts, and hearing from those who have narrowly escaped. We will also connect this to a broader pattern of digital deception and look at what the government is and is not doing to protect its citizens. This is a 12-minute special report. Let us first understand the scale of the problem. According to data compiled by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations and Civil Society Groups, reports of online job fraud have surged by over 40% in the last 12 months alone. The most common bait? Salaries in the range of 65,000 to 90,000 shillings per month. This is a critical psychological threshold. For context, the average monthly wage for formal sector employment in Kenya, as of the latest Kenya National Bureau of Statistics data, stands at approximately 55,000 shillings. So, an offer of 80,000 shillings represents a significant, life-changing uplift on paper. The fraudsters know this. They tailor their offers to be just believable enough to trigger hope, but just out of reach to create a sense of urgency. The primary platforms for these scams are social media sites like Facebook, WhatsApp, and Telegram, where fake recruitment agencies post glossy ads for jobs in countries like Canada, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and the United Kingdom. The positions are always in high-demand sectors: nursing, caregiving, driving, and hospitality. To visualize the lure, let us look at the numbers. The promise is not just a job, it is a specific financial dream. Our analysis of over 200 fraudulent ads collected in the past 3 months shows a clear pattern in the salary promises used as bait. Now, the mechanics of the scam are sophisticated. Once a potential victim expresses interest, they are directed to a professional-looking website or contacted via encrypted messaging apps. They are then asked to pay a series of processing fees. These can include a visa processing fee of around 25,000 shillings, a medical examination fee of 15,000 shillings, a contract signing fee, and finally, a hefty air ticket fee that can run upwards of 120,000 shillings. In total, a single victim can be defrauded of between 200,000 and 500,000 shillings. The criminals often use mule accounts, making the money nearly impossible to trace and recover. The final act is either ghosting the victim after the last payment or providing fake flight tickets and travel documents, leaving the individual stranded at the airport, or, worse, detained by authorities for attempting to travel with forged papers. We spoke to Maria Akinyi, a 28-year-old from Kisumu, who lost 275,000 shillings to such a scheme in October 2025. They had everything, she told us. A website with logos, testimonials from what looked like real people, even a phone number that someone always answered. They promised me a caregiving job in Toronto, Canada, with a monthly salary of 85,000 shillings. I sold my small grocery kiosk to pay the fees. When I got to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport with the ticket they sent, Kenya Airways said it was invalid. The phone numbers were dead, that was it. My life savings were gone. Maria's story is not unique. The Diaspora Affairs Department estimates that thousands of Kenyans are defrauded annually, with total losses likely exceeding 2.5 billion shillings. So, what is the government doing? The warning issued this week is part of a broader, but often criticized, public awareness campaign. The State Department maintains a list of registered and licensed recruitment agencies on its website. However, critics argue the list is outdated and the enforcement against unlicensed operators is weak. We asked Diaspora Affairs Principal Secretary Roseline Njagu for an interview. While she was unavailable, her office sent a statement reading, in part, "We urge all Kenyans to rigorously verify the authenticity of any overseas employment opportunity through our official channels. Do not pay any money up front to secure a job. Legitimate agencies are regulated and follow due process." But is warning enough? Security analyst and former cybercrime detective Peter Mwangi says no. This is a transnational organized crime, Mwangi explains. The syndicates are often based outside Kenya, using local accomplices. The government's approach is reactive, issuing warnings after a scam trend is already viral. We need proactive cyber patrols, partnerships with social media companies to take down fake pages faster, and much stiffer penalties. The current law treats this as simple fraud, but the human cost is enormous. M1G points to a related, and equally disturbing, trend: the use of advanced technology by criminals. Just this week, Bloomberg reported that a hacker used the artificial intelligence system Claude, developed by Anthropic, to steal sensitive government data in Mexico. While not directly linked to the job scams, it highlights how criminals are leveraging cutting-edge tools. Could I be used to generate more convincing fake testimonials or even simulate video interviews? Experts fear it is only a matter of time. This story also intersects with another pressing issue: domestic economic desperation. The allure of 80,000 shillings overseas is powerful because local opportunities are scarce. The official unemployment rate among the youth hovers around 13%, but this figure masks widespread underemployment. Many university graduates are in informal hustles earning a fraction of that promised salary. This creates a fertile ground for exploitation. Economist Dr. Scholastica Odhiambo argues that tackling the scam problem requires tackling the job problem. You cannot blame a young person for chasing a dream when the reality here is so limited, Dr. Odhiambo says. The government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda must show tangible results in job creation. Otherwise, these warnings will just be background noise to a generation that feels it has no options. Let us shift perspective for a moment. What about the legitimate overseas employment pathway? It does exist. Licensed agencies place thousands of Kenyans in jobs abroad every year, particularly in the Gulf states. The process is rigorous, involves government oversight, and fees are capped by regulation. The key difference is transparency and pace. A legitimate process for a job in Saudi Arabia, for example, can take 3 to 6 months and involves verified contracts, pre-departure training, and registration with the Kenyan embassy. The scam offers promise the same job in 3 to 6 weeks. The contrast in these timelines is a major red flag. Now, let us examine some hard numbers on the legitimate diaspora contribution versus the losses to fraud. Central Bank of Kenya reports that remittances from Kenyans living abroad remain a cornerstone of the economy, totaling over 500 billion shillings in 2025. This is a vital source of foreign exchange and household support. Conversely, the estimated 2.5 billion shillings lost to job scams is a direct drain, often devastating individual families and their local communities. The economic impact is twofold: loss of capital and loss of human potential. We also reached out to the Communications Authority of Kenya and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The CAK stated they work with platform providers to curb illegal content, but their mandate is primarily on licensed communication services. The ODPP noted that prosecuting these cases is challenging due to the cross-border nature of the crimes and difficulty in apprehending the masterminds. This points to a significant enforcement gap. In our final segment, we look at what you can do. Verification is your strongest weapon. First, check the company against the official list on the Diaspora Affairs website. Second, a legitimate employer will never ask for money for a visa or work permit. That is always the employer's cost. Third, insist on a signed contract that clearly states the terms, salary, and working conditions before you pay anything. Fourth, verify the contract with the Kenyan embassy in the destination country. And fifth, be skeptical of offers that seem too good to be true. They almost always are. The promise of 80,000 shillings is a powerful magnet, but it must be met with powerful caution. As we conclude, this warning about fake job ads is a symptom of larger issues: digital literacy gaps, economic strain, and the evolving tactics of global crime networks. It is a reminder that in the interconnected world of 2026, threats can come through a smartphone screen, dressed as opportunity. The government's warning is a necessary first step, but as our experts highlighted, it cannot be the last. For the thousands of Marias out there, the need is for prevention, not just awareness. Until the economic prospects at home brighten significantly, the desperate search for a better life abroad will continue, and so will the predators waiting to exploit it. For Kenya News Update Today, I am your host. Stay vigilant and stay informed. Subscribe to Kenya News Update Today.